Living with social anxiety and shyness can be a bit like having the Cuban Missile Crisis inside your head. 24 hours a day, without ever reaching a resolution. That would be enough to give anyone anxiety, right? What you're going to discover in this video is the real truth behind the epic standoff happening inside your head right now, how it is causing your mind to go blank at those crucial moments, and the high-performance formula that will enable you to diffuse your mental conflicts, reverse a lifetime of ingrained shyness and anxiety behaviours, and begin building rampant confidence and conversation game in their place, enabling you to start living again with a very particular new set of social skills. How badly do you wish your mind would work with you, not against you? How badly would you like to get rid of that boring label and never again have to hear that immortal line? Well, you don't say much, do you? Instead, becoming a charismatic, confident and interesting person, beginning on the inside, then radiating it to the outside world. But be warned, when your original personality blueprint starts re-emerging, your inner fear voice will feel threatened and try to resist. But if you persist, this process is going to be like nothing you have read in books or seen in other systems before. No drugs or expensive long-term therapy here. None of this it works for a while business, only for your old anxieties to come creeping back in later on. No, enough already. You've done your time and then some. What you need is somebody who has been there and lived life from both sides. Somebody who can do more than just regurgitate what they've read elsewhere. Somebody who knows something of what you're going through and has devised groundbreaking new techniques, as well as harnessing and developing the very best of existing techniques and strategies that simply work when combined into a high-performance formula capable of generating real transformational change that will have your anxieties and insecurities simply melting away, along with your inner fear voice, instilling within you massive amounts of self-belief, transforming you into the most interesting person in the room, even if you don't think you have any interesting experiences to talk about. Experience your brain lighting up in such a way you will never fear the blank mind reaper again, turning you into a person that actually craves social interactions and a stage, bringing out in you the original high-performance person you were born to be, while closing the door for good on social anxiety and shyness, to make those powerful new behaviours last a lifetime. Hi, my name is Gray, Richard Gray, experienced transformation expert. The techniques and strategies you will discover in my system are those I have researched, developed or designed myself over a period of 25 years. That's about the same time it took Andy Dufresne to dig his way out of Shawshank prison. In the process of testing, refining and forging these techniques into the most effective set of tools ever devised, I liberated myself from a prison of shyness and anxiety. So you see, I know what I'm talking about because I was Mr. Social Anxiety and Shyness. But for a while back there, I was better known as Rigor, as in rigor mortis. Because in company, I would stay as still and silent as possible so nobody would notice me and start talking to me. In reality, I just wanted to be at the party, being fun, interesting and breezy with the opposite sex. Not locked in a race to get a sentence out before the other person's eyes glazed over. Pleased to meet you. Today you can call me no more Mr. Blank Mind. And in 6 weeks from now, I will be doing the same for you. Because I've discovered the secret to destroying anxiety, shyness and the inner fear voice that so few people know about. Naturally, I had to learn it in the most humiliating way possible, right? It began with me standing before a hostile-looking crowd of strangers at a wedding, about to deliver an epic best man speech, without notes, wondering how the hell I'd gotten myself into this. In what I can only assume was an act of desperation, a friend at work had asked me to be best man at his wedding. about 1,000,000 miles outside my comfort zone. But I had an ace up my sleeve. I'd just invested several months' wages into a memory training course which was fueling my newfound confidence and belief. So in a moment of bravado I said yes, thinking this was it. This would be the catalyst that would turn my life around, and with months to prepare, I could do what Hugh Grant had done in 4 weddings and a funeral. Be devastatingly charming and give the speech of a lifetime, winning the hearts and minds of the audience, and beginning a new life filled with confidence and new friends. Maybe even a girlfriend. It was going to be perfect. The speech to end all speeches, delivered without notes, thanks to my shiny new memory techniques. So, with adrenaline-soaked hands shaking and voice trembling, I opened with a joke that had everyone in the room roaring with laughter. And if life was like a Hollywood movie, I would have begun to relax and deliver the speech of a lifetime. But it's not. And I didn't. Instead, the shakes increased, my voice constricted, and my mind started panicking at the impending thought I might forget everything. Then I did, and my epic speech ground to a halt about halfway through. There was no thunderous applause, just a polite smattering of claps, not even loud enough to drown out somebody quietly murmuring, "Is that it?" All I wanted at that point was to sink back into my chair and hide at the bottom of a glass. But the gods of social anxiety still wanted to humiliate me for a little while longer. Just then I was asked to read out a bunch of cards sent from absent relatives. I skimmed through them quickly, hoping to find some funny comments, but there was none. I asked my brain for help, but it was too slow to improvise and abandon ship. So with burning cheeks and shaking hands, I read the cards verbatim to a silent room, and bored everyone to tears, including myself. From that day on, I was determined to read every personal development book, attend every seminar, and do as many classes, courses, and trainings as I possibly could. It took a few years to discover why that seemingly foolproof memory training had failed me that day. It's a reason why self-help and personal development books, no matter how famous or credible their authors, no matter how powerful their claims, cannot help you long-term in any real situation, because you cannot hold 2 opposing emotions in your head at the same time. Go ahead and try. You can only experience one emotion at any given moment, and the emotion that's the strongest will dominate the weakest. Here's what's happening when shyness and anxiety begin consuming your confidence. In social, work, exam, interview, or public speaking contexts, first you freeze. Then adrenaline floods your system and diverts all non-essential resources into your muscles, priming them for the next stage, flight or fight. Resources like your higher cognitive thinking, which is the reason behind why your mind goes blank in stressful situations, leaving you looking like a vegetable. Often, a good self-help book will make you feel like you're ready to take on the world. But confidence evaporates very quickly the moment you have finished, unless it is firmly and skillfully planted in the mind. But it cannot be planted successfully while shyness and anxiety occupy that space. Like Japanese knotweed, the anxiety will simply strangle the life out of those seeds of confidence. Which is why the 6-week Anxiety Destroyer system comes in 4 manuals. 1 manual to destroy your social anxieties and shyness. First, we remove the destructive or limiting patterns of behaviour from your mind. Then comes a confidence and self-esteem manual to help you build massive confidence. Instantly, we're filling the vacuum created by exiting anxiety strategies by installing powerful new confidence strategies. If you ever tried quitting smoking or drinking or started a diet and failed, it's probably because you weren't following this principle. Next, a manual to give you entertaining and dynamic conversation skills, using strategies devised specifically to prevent the mind from going blank at the wrong moment. And finally, one manual to guide you on your journey through the 3 stages of this system. Stage 1. We begin the journey at home with your preparation and ground building work. Stage 2 moves you to a social setting where you are approaching and introducing yourself to others. Stage 3. This stage revolves around you now engaging in and closing down a conversation with someone, giving you the skills you need to operate as a high-performance person in any social or work environment, without the mental distraction of your brain firing off too many thoughts in different directions. Have you noticed how, as humans, we are absolutely riddled with conflicting needs and desires? You want to be a social butterfly, but you're really hoping that person doesn't approach and start talking to you. The trouble with this particular thought is, you falsely assume everyone else is thinking the same thing when you are approaching them. Then there is that age-old conflict between wanting to be slim whilst also wanting that cake. This is a Cuban Missile Crisis in effect, with a head full of conflicting needs and desires. Each side cancels the other out, resulting in a stalemate, where ultimately you end up achieving nothing. While the Anxiety Destroyer system can't help you with the cake, it can help you resolve the multiple conflicts and negative programming that have been holding you back and preventing you from sleeping at night, enabling you to become a much more confidently decisive person. How many times have you imagined being free of crippling self-doubt, or having the ability to talk without boring the other person and your mind going blank? Having people actually want to listen to what you have to say, not just waiting their turn to talk? No longer imagining the other person secretly wanting to escape your company. Speaking confidently without weighing up every word to assess how the other person might be judging you. To be able to blend in with your peer group or work colleagues, no longer the misfit that never talks. To be able to switch off that belief you are ugly or defective in some way. To switch off the belief people are constantly and negatively judging you. To have a future and just be a normal person with friends and somebody who loves you. To feel alive and overflowing with self-belief, possibilities and opportunities. To be able to give a speech or presentation without turning into a hyperventilating jelly. What would it be worth to you to have your life back again? And just a teensy bit more as compensation for all the time you've lost already? I lost more than 30 years, and if I could go back to my younger self, the one who's destined to be a virgin his entire teenage years, yikes. The one who started smoking at 15 just because he was desperate to belong. The one who took to drinking at 17 like it was a life raft. If I could go back to him and show him how to make the other kids crave his company and approval instead of the other way around, I would do so for 10,000 or 100,000. Because my younger self does not yet know he's about to lose half a lifetime to this condition. But I do. Oh, I know the cost of not taking action, all right. So I would max out every credit card I have. Now clearly, I'm not urging you to invest in yourself at such financial cost, although I know you would if you had the means, and you knew without doubt this system could deliver. But you don't know me yet, and you don't know about the thousands of hours invested creating this unique system, honing it to perfection until it was so efficient it could have a life-changing impact in as little as 6 weeks. And because it is so new, you can't see reams of testimonials either. That's why I made it completely risk-free. It's also why you can complete the full 6-week system and still have 2 weeks to spare to claim a full refund if it is not already changing your life in all kinds of surprising ways. It's also why the full investment price for this life-affirming system is a very reasonable $297. That's £230 approximately. But the fact remains, until I get my invitation from Oprah, you still do not know me and you're hesitating to take a chance. That's why your $97 will be fully refunded to you upon request, no explanations required. You heard right. I'm offering you this system for just $97, or about £75. Look, I know I risk devaluating this system in your mind by heavily discounting the price. Moreover, I'm devaluing myself and all the hard work I've put into building this epic system. And now that I've become a high-performance person through using the tools in this system, I value myself and my skill set very highly. But I don't know your circumstances, and I don't want price to be a barrier for you. Just the opposite, I want you to have what I now enjoy, freedom from social anxiety and shyness. And I still have one final little problem to overcome. I don't have lots of genuine testimonials to show you. So why don't you be the one to write or shoot one for me, and help others that follow you to make an informed decision? If you would be willing, or you'd be willing to consider writing a brief and fair testimonial for me, you'll get the entire 6-week Anxiety Destroyer system for the reviewer's rate of $47 or £36 approximately. And just in case your inner fear voice is suggesting I might take your money and run, or I might make it really difficult for you to get your money back, rest assured I've experienced those very same thoughts and frustrations, but I'm determined my reputation will not be built on such practices. It's my mission to ensure this system stays head and shoulders the best in the world for a long time to come, for transforming lives out of shyness and anxiety, and equipping you with the tools to take on any situation with style. So my success depends on your success and positive testimonials. Ahead of you now is a fork in the path where you could, in the immortal words of Andy Dufresne, get busy living or get busy dying. You could take the well-trodden path you know so well, where time moves on but your life remains exactly the way it is right now, wasting your entire life away hiding from social situations, worried your life is going to be loveless and unfulfilled as it passes you by, always feeling apprehensive and an awkward misfit, where you are misunderstood and your behaviour gets mistaken for rudeness, always shying away from everyday activities such as meeting strangers, talking in groups or starting conversations, speaking on the phone, talking to authority figures, working, eating or drinking with company, shopping, feeling like other people's friendship is nothing more than charity, hating small talk and never knowing what to say. And let's not forget all those physical symptoms like blushing, sweating, a pounding heart or upset stomach. The fallout from a life lived in the shadows of anxiety and shyness can leave deep scars on the landscape of your inner world. And because it's invisible to the outside world, people think you're making it up, or you are simply an antisocial person with no interest in them or their life. But now, for the first time ever, make no mistake, you have a genuine alternative. The path of the 6-week Anxiety Destroyer system, where you can leave this half-life behind in your dust and become as confident as your favourite superhero. Walk in a path where old anxieties, shyness and conflict gradually fade to a distant memory. A path leading you to grow into your new role as a confident and articulate person. During the approach and introduce stage 2, you'll be unpacking techniques such as the one for altering your posture to project a confident presence, and the one that enables you to reprogram a quiet voice or mumble so you can project a powerful voice without running out of breath. Then there's the technique that easily reprograms you to hold eye contact effortlessly, and the ingenious strategy for remembering names. Strategies like these and many more are presented in a specific order, so each one unlocks the power of the next. But they are only introduced when you are fully prepared and ready to unveil a confident image to the world, and announce that no longer will you tolerate being invisible. And if you still experience that feeling like you're still a child surrounded by adults, I'll be showing you how to read body language and how to easily identify the signals people are broadcasting so you can recognize who is approachable and who secretly wants to be left alone. But none of this happens until the process of eliminating your shyness and anxiety programs and installing the confidence programs is well underway during weeks 1 and 2. During this time you will also begin building a platform of conversation skills, which we will continue building upon throughout the entire 6 weeks until, in the final week, we will bring it all together with the Conversation Court Pro, a unique and world-exclusive new strategy that is going to revolutionize your conversational abilities. Never again will you experience a blank mind or come across as boring. In fact, this strategy will have you craving social interactions, just so you can keep practicing and honing your skills with this technique. Having poured all my years of study and training into clinical hypnotherapy, memory training, neuro-linguistic programming, and even Kung Fu, into creating this system, you can be certain of one thing only. You will find nothing else even closely resembling this system or its potency and effectiveness. Once upon a time, my inner fear voice would have been riddled with self-doubt about releasing this system into your hands. But it doesn't have that kind of power over me anymore, and in 6 weeks' time, yours won't have that power over you either. No longer am I ruled by my inner voice, nor am I his unwitting victim. Today I live at cause, not effect, where I take responsibility for my life. So, like Red in the Shawshank Redemption, institutionalized then released from Shawshank Prison after 40 years of incarceration, I hope you too will have the will to begin the journey, and find me waiting on the other side, where the grass is more lush and fertile with potential. Don't just dream about a better future, click the button below and start building it now, with the power and support of the Anxiety Shyness Destroyer system at your back. Thank you for listening, and best of luck whichever path you choose.